morning, TFR.
Good morning.
Good morning. Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cosy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the planet. To this show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to The Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
I'm starting off fresh and I feel good. I look good. I smells good. I am good.
Thank God it's Friday.
Happy Friday, my friend.
And a happy Friday to you all. I think we're going to make it here to the Ironworx on Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com. I did just roll out of bed. I've been putting in a few extra hours every night, packing on the sleep. But I'm glad you all made it. It is Friday, my dudes. What's up, fellas?
Howdy ho.
I'm in the same boat. I'm still waking up.
And you lazy fuckers, get up. I've been up since 1:30. No, I'm kidding. I didn't go to bed until 1:30. I'm in that delirium, like really happy about not being asleep, baby, you know. Actually, I did go to bed relatively decently. I can't complain. I've had a lot of sleep here of late. I don't know if I'm getting in a feedback loop with you there, Josh, or it could just be the increased cannabinoids I've been ingesting on a day-long basis.
Yeah,
trying to.
That does it too.
Yeah, just trying to work out a regimen that works for me. I would like to keep a nice little even keel going without it being quite the roller coaster ride that it can be. It can suddenly dip really quickly. Be clicking up all day long, and suddenly when it dips, you better fucking throw your hands in there and hold on, buddy. Or just go take a nap, one of the two. But yeah. Something interesting as I came in, I normally click, and there we are live, and I click. Now it was YouTube. Nothing's over here, normal sometimes. So there's Ironworx, click down, and there's nothing on the first page where it normally has whatever is happening live. So I click over to the actual page of video area, and it's nothing there happening. I have to literally go to the third tab to live and finally see that we are live. So yeah, we're buried pretty deep over here.
They hiding us from ourselves. Fuck.
For myself, right? So pretty deeply hidden, but we're here. Are we spamming Rock Band? Let me go look.
We ought to be. We ought to be.
Yeah, Rock Band. Getting some spam. I might throw it in. There you go. Some spam.
Spam. I am.
Is there a spam emoji? Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I got nothing, and I was just commenting on how little I had.
Works then. Search.
What day I thought it was.
About banning football.
What?
Yeah.
Not seriously, though.
No, seriously.
I mean, no, they're not. I mean, they might be serious about their desire, but it ain't.
Yeah. And our industry a year. Good luck with that. Yeah, he also said he was going to get rid of fossil fuels. Yeah, he's going
Good
great
to
with
have
that.
those. Good to have those.
But yeah, it's serious though. The ladies on The View were talking about it. So
Yeah. What we need to do is make a safe version of a full contact sport.
here's an idea: take off those stupid helmets and all those pads and let them play. I guarantee people are not going to hit each other that hard. Look at rugby. Yeah, people get hurt still and whatnot, but they don't hit each other nearly as hard. That helmet is not a protective device anymore. It's a weapon, in my opinion.
Need to go back to the leather yarmulkes.
Yeah, something like that. Just something to where you're not putting this hard, well-attached object to a human body that they can use to hurt other people with it. I've been saying this since, for a long time. I was like, why do they have the helmets? The helmet just seems like it's a weapon now. And this was way before they made all the rules to where you can't hit with your helmet and this and that. I mean, yeah, they've changed the rules to where you're not supposed to do it, but people still do it. I don't know. They're grown adults. You've legalized how much shit out in California? People can shoot up on the streets and it's cool, but you can't go play football. I don't know. More government reach. But yeah, good luck with that one, you guys, getting rid of football.
It's kind of like police officers. I'm brave. I protect the community. I'm so motherfucking important that the only thing about my job that I really care about is officer safety, because I'm so fucking brave, I will violate your rights to keep myself safe. That's how fucking brave I am. I'm so fucking brave that I'm so important that I want nothing but complete and utter total safety for everything that I do in my entire job. Safety. And that's what they want with football
good
players.
Profession, like as far as dangerous jobs, it's like in the 20s here in the United States. You have a better chance dying being a roofer in the United States than being a police officer. Just saying.
Yeah. And a far less likely chance of dying being a football player.
Yeah. Yeah, no, the real dangerous, I think ironworker is one of the most dangerous jobs.
Dude, tell me.
Those guys who hang iron and, no way. No way. Go watch some of those videos on YouTube. Just type in ironworker hanging iron. And you will get a respect for these guys. They go up there with GoPros on their heads now and stuff, on their chests. You watch them walk around on this iron, not tied off to nothing. Nothing to tie off to. Like you fall, you're dead. That's it.
Yeah, when I was in the Navy, I was working on the flight deck for one deployment as a volunteer. And they were telling us that during the daytime, it was like the 5th most dangerous job in the world, according to OSHA. But then at nighttime, it was considered the #1 most dangerous job that existed, which was when most of the flight operations actually were conducted.
Who that is talking?
What's up, Brian?
Hey, guys.
Good to hear you, man. How was your week?
Oh, not too shabby. Back to work now. So I'm kind of an insomniac still. I have to actually be at work in about 5 hours, but it's all right.
Yeah.
But hey, Walt, I watched that video you had on Telegram. Dude, you were fucking rocking out on that one. I watched that twice.
I'm glad you liked it. Glad you liked it.
Dude, if you had your hair in like a ponytail and you had like some of those like Jim Morrison glasses and like a beard,
that's what
dude, you could be like in any band you wanted to.
That's what I made. I appreciate it. I was just farting around. That's what I do. When I'm not here with you guys, I'm usually farting around on my guitar.
I tried learning how to play the guitar. I had an Ibanez 350.
Nice.
And I had once upon a time until my friend stole it from me. But he stole my amp, my chords, and everything. Anyways, yeah, I tried learning how to play it, but my fingers just don't work like that. I can't, like, my mind and my fingers don't work to the way where I can play guitar.
It took me a while, Andrew. It took me like to the point where I tried when I was like 15, 16. Guy at school sold me an electric guitar for like $50, and I got a little amp with it and stuff. And my stepdad, like, he played for about 30 years. And he went and got me books like that were teaching me like music. Mary Had a Little Lamb and reading music. not interested. Not interested. Then I got to be 21 and I went and bought my own acoustic guitar. And there was none of that nonsense. I taught myself pretty much. And I started with House of the Rising Sun. Real easy song, 4 chords. You step it down, step it back, walk it back up, you know. And I learned, I met my guitar that way.
Right.
You know, I got.
If it's any consolation, Zack, I will let you know that I began on an acoustic guitar learning how to play Mary Had a Little Lamb. That's not really where I started, but in my quote unquote professionally taught lessons, whatever, it was a big joke because that's what he was teaching us. While he was learning Mary Had a Little Lamb at college at night, that's courses, while he was learning acoustic guitar, then he would teach us the next day his little 3-note song, because he was not supposed to be the guitar teacher. The guitar teacher was supposed to be the jazz guitarist who taught jazz band. And over the summer, apparently he had a little fling with one of the students, got kicked out of school, so the choir director defaulted to the guitarist, and he didn't play guitar. So yeah, we all were learning together. So it can be done. You can start with Mary Had a Little Lamb and wind up with White Knuckles.
Oh yeah, it wasn't doing it for me. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing this.
No, it was driving me nuts, man. I would just like leave his class and then go home and crank up my little amp, my little guitar, and play along to Van Halen. That's what taught me. It definitely wasn't Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Really was, Andrew. It was, I mean, I would sit there at work and practice where my hands would go. This one supervisor would come and be like, hey, what are you doing? Are you okay? Because I got my hands up in the air doing all these weird things. And I was like, oh, I'm practicing. It's like, these are the guitar notes for House of the Rising Sun and, you know, the changes and all that stuff. And I'm just going over them in my head. But I would do it at work all the time. The people are like, what are you doing?
Speaking of that song, House of the Rising Sun, so one of the bands that I like a lot is Five Finger Death Punch. I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of them or not.
Oh, yeah.
I am a fan of like the first couple albums, and then I kind of just lost the thread just because there's so much music out there. But yeah, I definitely like them.
They got a little too trendy. I think.
Something happened. Yeah, it got a little looking at radio. It felt like to me exactly
the MTV kind of style of band, but they did
like
a
the
cover
guy who
of.
came. Oh, never mind. Sorry, I got all excited.
They did a cover of House of the Rising Sun. It is phenomenal.
Really, I had no clue that.
Oh yeah, it's great.
I'll have to go look that up. I found them by way of the original band the guy was in. I think he was the singer. Motor Grader. No? Okay. I'm weird. There was a band in the late 90s, early 90s, mid 90s. I don't even know the years now. I'd say 93, I'm guessing. And it was called Motor Grader, and they kind of did the makeup thing a la, Mudvayne or what was the other makeup band, whoever. And so that's what I thought they would be. And then suddenly I heard the music, and it was like nothing else that was going on at the time. This guy built a machine with like cogs and gears and cables that he would beat on with this huge hammer, and that was the Motor Grader. And it was part of their song sound or whatever. So later he became part of Death Punch. I'm going to go find out where he's at now.
You know how old that story House of the Rising Sun is? Who do you think wrote it?
Dorothy?
Close. About 10 years sooner than Dorothy. From 1925, a guy named Robert Winslow Gordon. It was the first printed lyrics in 1925. I mean, the oldest version I've heard, I think, is the Bob Dylan version from 64. Something like that. Maybe 65. His very first album, it was self-titled, just Bob Dylan. He looks like he's like 16, 17 years old on the cover. But yeah, he does his own little version of it where he changes the words a little bit and stuff like that. Or maybe they're the original words. I don't know. But I had no idea that song was that old. I thought it was an Animal song for the longest time. That's wild.
Yeah, ever since I heard about the Tavistock Institute, I've been listening to music a little bit differently ever since then.
Me too.
I've been very careful about what I listen to and movies and everything else.
Analyze stuff a lot more now. Music doesn't do the same to me as it used to. I used to feel music, I would almost see it. And now it's, unless it's somebody sitting around just jamming something, that's one thing. But if it's on the radio, yeah, I don't know. It's weird. Yeah, ever since I found out what music was turned into, a weapon, I haven't let it into my soul anymore, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does make sense, but when you hear someone like Walt just jamming out on the guitar, that's not the same as if you're listening to like a Britney Spears song or like the Beatles or something.
Yeah.
I'm very selective in what I listen to as well. And if you were listening at all to the lyrics in the background that were going on during that song, I get it. If they're on the radio, they've done something to get there. I get that. But that being said, there are bands who tend to have lyrics and stuff that seem to fight against all that. They always put out that one fucking album that sucks Satan's cock, but everything else is, generally raging against some shit. And their lyrics up to the current album, because a lot of bands start out that way. We're really giving some messages, and then they kind of lose the thread, and it all turns into sex, drugs, and rock and roll. The music content. So the fact that up to their current album, which is their 6th, 8th, hell, I don't even know, and every side project this band has, their music has some type of lyrical content that really blows me away. That song, White Knuckles, Hold On For Your Life. Those who hold on and fight against the craziness in this world will make it through. It's essentially what that song was talking about. Everything that band has put out has been great for me, as far as not feeling like I'm inputting horrible shit. Unlike a lot of the bands I used to listen to on a regular basis and champion their messages, quote unquote, I now despise. I'm looking at you, Tool. That never happened with Alter Bridge. There was one album that seemed to have a little political push to it during the time of the election, and that really pissed me off, and I hate that album. But other than that, I've liked everything.
Yeah, I was really big into Pearl Jam when I was young. I was like 11 years old. And man, their first 2-3 albums are nothing but horrible mind control, all kinds of stuff like that, shooting children taking guns to shoot school and shooting it up and stuff like that. That was all in Pearl Jam's first albums. And then they made a swing on their fourth album where they seemed to that's when they kind of bucked the system. And they did it for like 3 albums. And then all of a sudden I was like, yeah, Pearl Jam's, that's when I realized what music was. That was the last album I bought. I forget what the name of the album even was, but it had lightning bolts on it. And one of the songs was called Mind Your Manners or something like that. And it was just telling you like obey and things like, I was like, what is going on here? I never even listened to the whole album, because whenever I'd get a new album, I'd put it in and then I'd go look through all the pictures and read the words while it's playing and, get a feel for what the album's about. It took like 2-3 songs. Once I got to that one song, I was like, okay, I'm never listening to this again.
Yeah, you guys remember the days when you actually had to, like, before CDs were like really around, you had to buy cassettes, like put them in your, oh my God, you had to like rewind them and shit. Hope you got to the right spot.
Oh, yeah.
Which is actually having a resurgence currently. Like there is currently a cassette.
Why?
I have no clue, Andrew. I don't get it because that was definitely a format that I never championed at all. Vinyl, yeah, vinyl sounds amazing. Tape sounded like crap. Unless you were one of those people who could afford the high-end equipment and the metal head tapes and all that crap, yeah, you were hearing hissing. I don't care. You were hearing tape hiss.
So I got a little story about that, Walt. So I had a side job one weekend where I was just hired to go and clean out some lady's like basement that got all flooded and there was all kinds of stuff down there, and she had she was super wealthy and like in the wealthy part of the city, and she had tons of records and stuff that were like damaged, and there was like Beatles records from like the 60s, like original Beatles records, and she said, you guys can just take everything you want and just go ahead and throw it away or take it with you, doesn't matter. And I was like, oh crap, yeah, most of it was damaged, but some of it wasn't. So I took some of it back to my parents' house. They're in their 70s now, so I was like, hey mom, dad, what do you think about these records? Like, are they worth anything? And they looked at them, they're like, yeah, hell yeah, they are. And I had like this one Beatles album. It was the Paste Over album, which is, I'm not going to try and go into all the details about that. I didn't know about it until then. But yeah, I made a couple $1,000s off of some of those albums. But what I found out about records is that they say, according to how records are played back in sound, it is the absolute perfection of how sound can be put out.
The resonance and everything is in that vinyl.
Yeah, like digital can never, ever match it.
Nope, never comes close. That's why you hear all these older music lovers talking about, it doesn't sound the same.
It doesn't. And what's ridiculous is the kids these days are buying these $50, $60 albums that are MP3s pressed into fucking vinyl. So they're not even getting what we were buying. I see Brian Evans there in chat bringing up something I kind of was hinting around and I didn't carry on through. This is what Brian wrote. I listened to old 60s, 70s, and 80s, and some 90s and enjoyed as much as I always have. Don't let the robber barons take your fun and memory. And, I kind of am with that as well. This year, over this last year, I've kind of been reclaiming a lot of my life that I had to let go to basically to fear. I mean, if you really get down to it, it was all based on me letting fear overcome my life because I'm stronger than any fucking thing. I'm stronger than demons. I'm stronger than fucking dark entities. I'm stronger than all that shit. I tear their asses up on a regular tip. So why am I scared of some fucking music or some fucking holidays or some fucking whatever? And I get, well, you're celebrating, blah, blah, blah. No, I'm not. I'm consciously not doing that. I'm conscious of what they think they're doing and what they're doing and what there's really going on behind. I'm conscious of the levels. I'm conscious of where my energy focus is. So I've reclaimed my life in a major way over this last year with things that I had kind of let the fear of them take out of my life. And I just decided I wasn't going to do that no more. So I'm right there with you, Brian. Kind of broke the show.
Broke it right in half.
I like it. It's almost time, right?
Oh,
Hell, it actually is.
Yeah.
I almost did it. Damn it.
Yeah, it's one thing I don't have up yet.
Yeah, we got like 50 seconds. So about 20 till that song starts playing. If I'd have just rambled another few seconds. Rant too short. Damn it.
Damn it.
But I just started watching that video, Josh, that you did with Chris. I'm sorry, with Mike. About the whole AI. I haven't been able to watch all of it yet, but it's pretty fucking fascinating what you guys are talking about. It's some badass stuff.
Yeah, we have some really interesting conversations over there on the Truthers Hour of Comedy. Mike LeBrash, THC. Go check him out. Hit the subscribe button. Tell him we over here at Iron Realm sent you and say hello. Matter of fact, he ought to be hanging out with us again one of these days very soon. As well as some other people, now that I think about it. Anyway, stick around. We got more second half of the first half coming up right after this.
You're never, ever, ever, ever going to feel like doing the things you need to do in order to have what you want. You're always going to need to push yourself. You're always going to need to parent yourself. So what is the net advice on this? What is the bottom line? The bottom line is no one's coming. No one. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to tell you to apply for that job that you've always dreamt about. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. And because you're only ever going to do the things that you feel like doing right now, or that feel good right now, unless you understand that you've got to parent yourself, you've got to push yourself, you're not going to make your dreams come true. You're just not.
It's amazing how people have been raving about iLife all over Facebook. They've been posting their testimonials just because they want to get the word out because it's worked so well for them. If you're not familiar with iLife, it's a 99% pure CBD oil, but the secret is the synergy between the hemp and the ayahuasca vine, the non-psychoactive component of the ayahuasca tea. We recently received an email from a wife whose husband has Parkinson's. For the first time, he's been able to sleep through the entire night. Another customer reported that they're no longer using NSAIDs because their tennis elbow has been relieved with iLife. The reports have been phenomenal and much more than we ever expected. Everyone should have access to this. That's why if you head on over to iLife.com right now and use coupon code TFR, we'll give you $5 towards your order. And we'll even ship it worldwide. That's iLife.com, AYA life.com.
For 5,000 years, the world was ruled with wooden ships by one man. 242 years ago, a small group of free men crafted a new nation built on liberty and freedom. Global elites have been fighting to destroy this new nation called America ever since. Based on actual events, Charm of Favor tells a true story of how they corrupted the election system. They infiltrated federal agencies and murdered witnesses, judges, and even presidents to keep from being caught. Now, the largest and wealthiest crime syndicate the world has ever known has been drawn out of the shadows. They have killed hundreds of Americans and recently attempted to assassinate half our congressmen. Still, they escape arrest through an almost supernatural charm of favor. Read Charm of Favor and be prepared to open your eyes to what may lie just around the corner. Charm of Favor is available on Amazon and Barnes & Noble.
No hate, no hype, no fear. We are TFR Frequency Radio.
Well, pitter patter, let's get at her.
And welcome back to the second half of the first half of the Ironworks, kicking off right now.
It's Friday, my dudes.
Yeah, it's Friday, my dudes. And I'm afraid we may have run into the same issue.
Oh,
where TFR is just going to blast us with white noise. Now that
yeah,
we're
I
back
know.
from the
Is there
break.
not like a filter or something that they would like easily apply to some kind of app that you could probably get for free, if not for a couple dollars?
It seems like it'd be pretty
I
simple.
don't care.
Oh, I can't imagine you don't hear that.
Noise gate, but I'll cure that right up, I think.
Dude, it is enraging. I try not to. I really do my best. Like, that's part of why I don't use the two headsets, because that constant just in the middle of my head of just drives me nuts.
It does appear to be gone now, so that's good. Good.
We talked about it. They heard us. They turned off their open air mic. I'm looking at you, handler 437428631.
Did you guys hear about the Tesla that fell 250 feet off a cliff? And
He did? Fucking A. Wait, what?
all 4 people survived. That was kind of hard to believe, but
how far?
250 feet.
You would be, oh my God, that would be like terminal velocity at that point.
Yeah, the car is I don't understand how anybody could have survived that.
So let's just put this in perspective. What, one story is about what, 10, 12 feet?
10 feet, yeah.
Yeah. So park your Tesla on top of a 20-story building and drive off. You and Thelma and Louise, and see if all 3 of you actually survive.
They're saying it was done on purpose. I guess this is one way families like to commit suicide as a group out there. Not the first time. A whole family of people have gone over the cliff purposefully.
And they failed?
Actually being charged with attempted murder and child negligence, according to NPR.
I think that's reasonable. It's one thing if you want to drive yourself off a cliff. It's another thing if you want to stuff the rest of your family in there and do it.
Yeah. Says self-driving mode does not appear to be a contributing factor.
What the fuck is happening?
Crazy.
Oh.
I wonder if self-driving mode will just take us right off the cliff or if it will stop short. My money says it'll stop short because Elon Musk is a fucking genius.
I'm not willing to risk it.
Quickest way to the bottom of the mountain. We got you covered. Horrible, though. Horrible.
That kind of reminds me of a little story. When I was in Cambodia, I was at that big temple, Angkor Wat, and we got to the very top of it, and our little tour guide took us right up to the ledge, and he said, so the myth is that monks tell you that anyone that can jump off the ledge and get to the bottom will never have any disease for the rest of their life. And it was a joke because he was saying, yeah, because you fucking die. It's like a 600-foot drop or something like that. It's fucking.
That place is amazing. I've never been there, of course, but you hear archaeologists talk about it. It's one of it is the most decorated, like, man-made built thing on Earth. Every square inch of that place is like decorated in some kind of carving. Every square.
Oh yeah, it puts the pyramids to shame. Like oh my God, that place is huge.
They just
It takes like 2 hours to walk to the top.
Yeah, they just found out that with their ground penetrating radar, that's just the center, like the Angkor Wat Palace temple thing is a small part of what's actually there underneath that ground around that area. There's actually another huge square that goes all the way around that thing. That's covered by whatever, the jungle and earth but yeah, that's just like the center of the city.
Yeah, when you get up to the top of it and you look around, it's just absolute thick forest, like rainforest, whatever you want to call it, jungle, everywhere in all directions. So you can see Cambodia, Laos, Thailand, all from the top. And before you even walk up, the tour guides tell you do not step off the trail because there's these signs right there, and they say it in like a couple different languages. They're not in English though, and it says basically like a skull with a cross through it, saying like if you step off the trail you might die, and they explained to us why those signs are there. So what happened was during the Cambodian Thailand like war that was going on, like right after Vietnam, Cambodia didn't have enough military. So what they did is they hired Russia to fly overhead and just drop landmines, like airborne landmines, everywhere in the jungle. So they're still there and they're still active. And if you walk out there, you might get your fucking body blown in pieces. I've got actual pictures of this too, by the way, like back before, like Polaroids, back before like cell phones were around.
This is one of those things that Princess Diana was like focused on. She was ridding the world of anti-personnel mines was one of her big projects, if I recall right. David Banner remembers the Khmer Rouge. So the red scarf, I think.
Yeah, the Khmer Rouge was I think the dictatorial type of government that was there, forcing people to basically have to eat spiders to survive. It was terrible what they were doing. They wiped out 25% of Cambodia's population in like 3 years. It was way worse than anything. If you believe in the Holocaust, it was way worse than that.
Mm-hmm.
And the United States never got involved because we just left Vietnam.
I remember there being a movie vaguely about a spelling bee. Jesus Christ, this goes way back. And like it might have been someone that was rescued from Cambodia. Jesus, man. I'll have to look into that one. That one tickles some way back memories. Huh.
Angkor Wat is over 1,000 meters in one direction by 800 meters in another direction. That's the outside wall. And then they're actually showing this picture here. I'll drop this in chat.
Is that it? Because that seems kind of small for when I was there. But then again, I was just going up a large hill the entire time. So
yeah, that's just like the main temple that has the 15-foot high wall around it. But they say there was actually like a big giant city around that as well.
Yeah, I never got to that part.
No, they just discovered this not too long ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
Ground
Stuff that's
penetrating
just recently been found. Yeah. But all that antiquitech looking crap is just nuts.
Yeah, I think it's some people have a bucket list on their life. They want to do certain things like skydiving or go see the pyramids or whatever. Well, that's already one of the things on my checklist that I never intended on even doing, but I got to go do it.
This is a great shot. I got to share it.
I want to flip one of those big knife switches like in the Frankenstein movies. I want to throw one of those switches.
That's like the old kind of switches they would use for like the electric chair and shit. Like, oh, you're gonna die, bitch.
But I don't want it to be. I mean, I've thrown little knife switches, real small ones. But I want to throw big giant one.
When you got to struggle to pull it down.
Yeah, it makes a loud noise when you do it. Like there's warning signs going on. Yeah,
you can buy those.
Oh, but I want to pull it.
Buy it and then hook it up to like the smallest thing in your house, like turn it on your little speaker for your computer or something.
They make little like 3D printed versions of those you can attach to like your light switch on your wall. So every time you walk into the room, you can just throw the little switch, turn your lights on or off. It's pretty nifty.
Cool for like 2 or 3 times, then it would get real old.
Come stumbling in first thing in the morning. It takes you 35 seconds just to turn the light on because you can't figure out exactly where it is, which direction it goes, what you're doing, where it go. Yeah.
Hey, well, after the next break, I would like to talk about a couple of different things. If you guys don't mind.
Oh, we can. I just have to read this out loud. Line producer extraordinaire, the Alan Holman. I recently erased skydiving from my bucket list. Not because I did it, but because it's a fucking crazy thing that humans weren't meant for. I love it. Alan, I concur. Thank you.
Who said that?
Alan Holman in chat. Yeah, that used to be on my list as well. And then I came to the realization there's no wings attached to me on a permanent basis, so I probably don't need that.
Or bungee jumping. I don't see.
Right. If I'm going to jump off something, I'm going to do it. And that's it. Here we go. See y'all. I'm not going to go, okay. Psych!
Okay, here's my thing about bungee jumping. I've never done it, and I've never seen the result of what happens after they bungee jump. How do they get back up? Is it like I don't know, what is it, like a crane that pulls them back up, or do they release, or like what?
I don't know.
That's a good question.
So I think it goes down. I've never been myself, but I think that it's all connected to like a big winch, and the winch will go up and down. So it'll raise you up, and they can raise it up to the top of the platform, and then they can hook you up, and then you bounce and you jump, and as you come to rest, then they just lower you back down that little bit to the ground. Then once the bungee is free, then I guess they raise it back up to the platform for the next person. But I don't know.
They raise you back up, because I've seen videos of where, like in New Zealand, there's like this trolley that's suspended over a steel cable, and you bungee jump down into like a cavern. Like, you can't go down, because if you do, you die. So they have to bring you back up, I guess. But I don't know. I've never seen that actual result.
And if you plan on going bungee jumping, make sure you actually want to go bungee jumping.
Jump, don't get pushed.
Well, or don't jump when they tell the person in front of you to jump, because you haven't been hooked up to, you put the harness on, but the harness isn't hooked to anything yet. There was this girl, she was real nervous about it, this and that. And her boyfriend was going to go first, show her that it's okay. And he was hooked up and everything, and they told him to jump, and she went and jumped off the edge. 250 feet, something like that, 300 feet to her death.
Oh, God, that reminds me of like, what's that movie with Sylvester Stallone called
Cliffhanger.
Cliffhanger. At the very beginning, he drops the girl because the fucking cable breaks.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Sorry, I don't mean to be all morbid or anything.
I haven't seen that movie in a long time. That was a good one, too. As far as Sylvester Stallone movies go. Remember Cobra? That movie was.
Now I have biceps and a tattoo.
The car was awesome, though. That was a cool car. I haven't even seen Cobra. I'm gonna have to go try and find that.
If you ever want to, sit back on the couch, smoke a J, and watch an old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie, they're fucking funny. Like, you have to be kind of high to watch them, though.
Yeah, it's amazing how things have changed. Like now, those types of movies, I don't know, they probably still do good. They still make really bad movies that do well. But yeah, the acting is so bad, but the guys have such big muscles and are so big that you kind of overlook it, you know?
Yeah, don't forget, he was the fucking governor of my state.
Commando.
Well, I mean, Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Not like
Governor,
Minnesota,
yeah.
who had the governor who's a sexual tyrannosaurus.
And that was, what was his fucking name?
Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Jesse the Body. Him and Arnold used to argue about who had bigger guns back in the day.
They were both in Predator together in the same movie.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Carl Weathers.
The muscle mass alone in that movie. Good Lord. It's probably, they were killing a cow every day to feed those guys. You know how many calories you have to intake to stay that size?
It was 1 cow to feed the cast and 2 more to sacrifice for good ticket sales.
So Jesse Ventura, apparently, so I saw this on TV like years and years ago. He had like a conspiracy thing where he was trying to go around to interview senators and congressmen and stuff and try and figure out conspiracies. Did you guys ever hear about that?
I watched quite a few episodes.
I haven't seen it in a long time.
This was one of the things where TiVo got real scary. This was when the government or somebody decided that if you have recorded all of Jesse Ventura's conspiracy theory shows, there was 1 or 2 in particular that perhaps maybe he shouldn't have gotten out. So they went into people's TiVos, their recorded shows, and deleted them out of there and just literally wiped them off their service.
Mine was one of those.
It was a crazy, crazy thing. And this was, I mean,
way back
15 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Consider, in the scheme of all what we're talking about, it's been a minute and that was going on, right?
Wow. It was like,
yeah, we're talking about that, Alan. He's typing it up in chat.
Yeah, I remember that because that's when I had bought my house and I was living out there in the country by myself and I had the DVR thing. And that was one of the shows that I had recorded all of them. I think it was the one where he went to a detention center that was like a black site that they were holding people unconstitutionally, like families in these sites.
Chilster Deluxe in chat saying one of them was the hypnotized one, which I don't even remember, so it must have been one I missed.
And then FE Nation says one of the episodes was about the jibby jabber. But yeah, I know there was I think it was 2 videos or 2 episodes in total that they removed from my DVR. And then they just stopped the show after that. I think that was kind of a feeler out. Let's see how many people are paying attention and how many people are going to watch this.
So you're saying they deleted every single episode because of just a couple episodes?
No, they only deleted a couple of episodes.
Those disappeared out of people's TiVo.
You had it
that they had recorded.
Recorded and waiting to watch, or even watched it already and you're just saving it to watch it again. They went in there and removed it. You could never watch it again. It wasn't even there to watch.
Do you think it's available to, I'll say this carefully, download?
Mm-hmm. You can still find them. I think I've got every episode somewhere still.
Don't we have it in that dump we got from Aether?
Could be. I forgot all about that.
Yeah, I think that's where we got it because I remember seeing that somewhere in my shit when I went looking back and thought, "Oh wow, I didn't even realize I had all these."
I think Dixie had it on DVD, burned them to disc. I think I've got like hard copies somewhere.
cool. Then at least we know you have them. Yeah, we don't have them. Of course, that's a terabyte. No, 2 terabytes. I have to dig through to find them again.
Let's see, how many episodes were in the original?
Do not remember.
Wow, on Putlocker, they only have 1 episode, the harp episode. Oh, yep. Season 1, episode.
Yeah, you got to think about that, though. That was mainstream conspiracy. That's like what they were putting out, like, for everyone to watch. It's like the news, essentially. And so how much of it is actually legitimate? You have to be skeptical.
Oh, right, because I look back on shit like sightings and what's the other one? Damn it. There was another one that was about that same time. Sightings on another show mostly about UFOs, and they would get into other conspiracy, and it was on every Friday. And it was like, even at that time, I kept thinking, I mean, if they're telling us all this on TV, then there's a whole lot of shit we don't have a clue about. There's a whole lot of shit they're hiding. They can't be telling us all of it right here on these shows. It just, even then, in the late 80s, whenever that shit started. To me, anyway, at that time, like I said, that was part of me starting to get out of that whole thing, because it just turned into a big money push.
So, Ancient Man's been around 200,000 years longer than we thought.
Why not?
Yep, sure. Because of a
Is that
footprint.
it?
Yeah. I don't even know how old we were supposed to be. I thought it was just like 150,000 years old we were supposed to be. Let's see.
Is that from NeildeGrasse-Tyson.com?
Yeah. So instead of 95,000 years old, they're 295,000 years old. Okay, I'm done with that. That's just nonsense. South Korea's moon mission snaps stunning Earth pics. Goodness.
Hey, on a side note, as we're approaching the top of the hour, and I'm playing catch up in the chat here on Rockpin, I want to thank Andrew for the awesome tip there, brother, saying Earth isn't a sphere. Thank you very much. And no, we did not. You did not go through a time warp, not a clue. It is January 6th, not December 6th. I would assume that's on the screen currently. I'm not actually looking at the screen.
You know what? I probably did. Now
playing catch up on the chat.
Or in the title, probably. I think it says January, but I think I remember typing December somewhere. Yep, in the title.
Yeah, I don't mean to pat myself on the back or try to like bring a present to myself or anything, or presents to myself, but January 6th completely ruined my birthday because today I actually turned fucking 40, like this morning. So
happy corporation
fucking
formation.
January 6th. Fucking hate my birthday now, goddamn Donald Trump. Or whatever the fuck. I don't know. The whole event just sucks. Fucking stupid as shit. Anyway, sorry. My little rant.
That's good. We need that. Always good to have a little rant in the morning.
So a Tesla semi has been spotted being towed down the road. Just saying. I know we're going to break here soon. Yep. It's already starting. No, I think they set up this whole electric vehicle thing to fail. I really do. They don't want electric vehicles out, but the people were pushing for them so much. It's like, okay, we're going to make you something that there's no way it's going to work. You're going to be so mad for buying one after a few years that this will all wear out and people won't ever want electric vehicles again. Just my opinion. I mean, it could work. It really could. with the technology we have today. We don't even need to use electric. We could just run stuff on water. That's a crazy conspiracy theory.
There's some music. And I'll be God if that doesn't take us right there to the halfway point.
Look at us.
Look at us go. You guys managed to sit through the whole half of the show. Stick around because we still got the first half of the second half. Coming up on the other side of these brief messages, Ironworx, Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com, YouTube, Rockfin, Facebook,
This is iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio. iHeartRadio makes you want to move. When you have a great melody, a song lasts forever.
Instantly connected.
I love it when the beat goes.
Did you know you can listen to Truth Frequency Radio on iHeartRadio? Just download the app to your smart car, smartphone, or smart TV and get the best of TFR wherever you are.
iHeartRadio.
I'll see you there.
So, you love talk radio? Then you'll love TalkStreamLive.com. TalkStream Live is always on, 24/7, with the best streaming talk shows. Find your favorite talkers and discover some new ones. It's free, readily available online or on mobile with any smartphone or tablet. Finding your favorite talk shows all in one place has gotten a whole lot easier. Just go to TalkStreamLive.com. Be sure to download the free apps from Google Play or the iTunes App Store.
We can't allow bad things to happen to our country, and bad things are happening to us, perhaps like never before. You'll be seeing what goes on, and perhaps like never before.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Oh, shit, we failed. Shit, we failed. They may allow me back. So I walked gingerly. That ramp was long and steep. I said, General, I might have to grab you. Brother pussy. They made that a big story, but they didn't make a Biden fall. The triple fall. I wasn't gonna fall. Dr. Fauci, who I actually got along with, he's a great promoter. Not a great doctor, but he's a hell of a promoter. Fauci said powerfully at the beginning, no masks. Then he went into masks, and then he became a rebel master. Look at the world. Look at what happened to the world. And look at the world. It's not just us. It's the world.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Oh, shit, we failed. Shit, we failed. They may allow me back. Zuckerberg walked into the office and tried to film his people. Congratulations, everyone. You're number one on Facebook. The day I was out, he became rather, well, I guess it's human nature. He let our country be run by that kind of human nature. They may edit that out. They don't want to have that. They don't like that. They may have to edit that out. The Biden administration seems to be putting America last. There's nobody like us. Nobody has the people that we have. Nobody has the genius that we have. Look at the world. Look at what happened to the world. And look at the world. It's not just us. It's the world.
We are looked upon as not very smart. We are looked upon as not very smart.
Oh, shit, we failed. Shit, we failed. They may allow me back.
You owe me.
This is Truth Frequency Radio.
The Wicked One, obviously under heavy Masonic influence.
Good morning. I'm here. Wake up.
What is dark matter?
Well,
Okay, we don't know.
That's great. That's why it's called dark.
It's exactly.
Everyone knows all reputable information comes from random people on the internet. Tell me things, internet. The earth is flat. It's like school in your hand.
Dark matter is something we do not know what it is. We believe the dark matter is there, but we have never detected it. Well, what I'm afraid of course, is that there is no dark matter out there.
There was one?
There is no dark matter out there. We need to think really hard.
How dare you?
Hi, this is Alan. I like Ironworx because it's where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came.
I love Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zack. It's like sitting in your front room having a cozy chat with your best friends.
Hi, it's Diva here, and I just want you to know that Ironworx with Josh, Walt, and Zack, it's definitely my favourite dose of reality. Come join the family and keep it flat.
Why sleep in when you could get your dose of iron in the morning? Listen to the Ironworx on TFR.
This is Enlightened Dawn. Roses are red, violets are blue. Iron Realm Media is the best on the plane. To the show, I will forever be true. You guys are truly the best, and I love you guys. I'm so thankful to have you in my life.
Do you like listening to space letters from Never a Straight Answer? Then tune in to the Ironworx with Zack, Walter, and Josh. Break clear of the fear on the Ironworx and become an Iron Scout.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Ironworx right here, Truth Frequency Radio, TFRlive.com, and of course, then various places across the plane. Hour number 2. We've made it thus far. If only barely.
Look at us go.
Have made it. What do you got for us, Andrew?
No pressure.
No pressure. We'll just
All
sit
right.
here and we'll wait. Oh, he may be still freshening coffee. He may still be there.
He could be.
He may be not even realize that he's muted.
That happens.
It does
I
happen.
know it happens here. Definitely does.
I just saw one. What is? More quantum breakthroughs.
Yeah.
Oh, yay.
There was one I saw.
Sorry.
I don't know where. Oh. I don't know.
Cool story.
Yeah. They're saying there's a comet coming. Green comet will pass by Earth for first time since Neanderthals roamed Earth.
Because, they wrote it down when it happened and said, hey, look, big light sky. Oh. And we saw the writing on the wall.
Because so many comets are super visible and light up like the sun, like they always keep saying is going to happen, but hasn't in my lifetime.
Well, it did. It was just behind the clouds, you see.
Ah, is that what it was? And it was discovered last month, and they already know exactly the last time it came. This is nonsense, folks.
Well, in a similar story, apparently 1,000 tons of space debris, not just debris, space debris, was unleashed when NASA spacecraft slammed into an asteroid there. Now, this story's back from December, one of those we didn't quite get to last year. But this was a dramatic test of, our what was the movie? Armageddon. This is our Armageddon defense system. This is the world's first planetary defense technology demonstration, which, like I said, created 2 million pounds of rocks flew into space, enough to fill 6 or 7 rail cars, because they're out there picking them up and measuring them and weighing them and stuff and
right, because that's how it works. This is an asteroid, and this is 2 million pounds of space debris. This is 6. This is a half dozen, and we'll just spin a story however we want. Does it make it heavier? Is there more space debris if we smash it up into little pieces? If it's not in little pieces, if it isn't one big fucking chunk, is it not space debris all of a sudden? I mean, if it's just
I
flying.
think that the little pieces are way more dangerous than the big pieces.
Oh, no, don't get, I completely agree. How do you keep track? How do you track all those? How do you avoid all those? How do you control all those? You don't.
What was that event that happened when they, what was it, like 4 years ago, when they said that there was like a micrometeorite that went through the ISS and they just faked the entire picture because it was like a cover album for a band?
Yeah. And they fixed it with duct tape, as I recall.
Right. Like you do.
Bubblegum and duct
fix
tape.
it, duck it.
And that's when Fedor was up there, the bipedal robot that was drilling shit. Yeah. They just don't like to talk about it.
Russian robot? Was it a?
Mhm.
No. Yeah, it was Russian.
I do believe it was a Russian.
Comrade, the robot is not evil. I promise you.
The amount of bullshit they can get away with is just ridiculous. They could have just said, "Oh yeah, by the way, we stuck a couple of pieces of whatever." They could have just picked any random thing, like old soup or something. Like, that plugged the hole.
Mm-hmm.
And then we just covered the story.
We just plugged it with some Tang, because Tang is useful.
So here's one.
Speaking of tank, no, go ahead. I better not.
Ancient stone tools, once thought to be made by humans, were actually crafted by monkeys.
Okay.
Archaeologists.
According to the fingerprints.
50,000-year-old stone tool excavations, probably the work of capuchin monkeys, not early humans.
According to the signatures.
Well, monkeys use rocks to break open stuff.
Yes. And apparently nap other stones into sharp objects and with which to open things. I don't.
Hey, well, I've got something to share. I hope you guys don't mind.
Nope, not at all.
All right. So I was on last week talking about the whole trivia situation, right? With, the charity kind of thing.
Absolutely. Yes, sir.
So we did a little bit of a test run, and then I did a little bit more of a test run with Awesome Austin on the Melodome. I'm not sure if you guys caught that or not.
I did the brainstorming session. I did. That was good stuff.
Yeah, so I got a little more input from it, and Austin and I have been in contact about that. And what I've come to the conclusion of, and Austin, is that trying to get people to actually match my contribution is not reasonable, because I don't think people are going to really want to participate. So what's going to happen is that Austin and I are going to be basically just the main contributors to the charity. And what's going to happen is after that, there's going to be a winner for it, and they get a prize. We're not going to tell you what. And then the losers don't have to do anything. But it would be nice if they would at least give Austin, for being the host of it, like a $5 tip on Rockfin or whatever. Doesn't matter. So just something, just say, hey, thank you for participating, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it'd be
Anyways,
cool. Almost
okay.
like an entry fee. If you want to play the game, you just pay a little entry fee.
Well, you don't have to. It's not required.
Yeah.
But so Austin and I are going to be basically the main contributors to it. Over the course of 2023, I'm going to put up. I hope to do this 5 times, because I want to put in about $1,000 towards a charity. And the big issue that we had, like trying to figure out with a lot of people, a lot of people in chat were saying like make an LLC or do like a main big like jackpot, and it got really, really complicated.
Yeah, when it comes to charities, man, it's so hard to. I mean, my favorite charity is the Kakalaki Crew. They are, hands down, the stuff they do, spreading information and putting in their own time and money, and all the cookouts and stuff they have at events and gatherings. It's an amazing little group, and they don't do it for like the United Way and all these places. They only have to give like 7 cents out of every dollar they make to the charity, to some sort of person that actually needs it. And the rest is all administrative fees and their salaries and blah. Back in, I think it was 2006, 2007. I just knew this because one of the guys I knew was a car dealership guy. So he got to see people's financials, and all that kind of stuff. He's not supposed to tell me all this stuff, but he said she was making $90,000 being like the secretary of the place. $90,000 a year in this little small building. Nobody came in and got anything done. They just took donations. So yeah, I don't ever give money to charities anymore. I just try to help people in need. That's my thing.
Right. If we're doing it as a community where people we can talk to, like you and I right now, we can trust that that money is going to go towards something that we believe in and understand. And I can trust, like if I were to give you $2,000 right now, I could trust that you were going to do something good with it. Like if it was like for a donation kind of thing. And I've never met you, Zach, but I really hope to meet you next year at the next, convention that Karen's putting on over here.
Yeah.
But the point is, yeah, the charity is going to be an ongoing thing. It's going to be a type of GoFundMe, I think is how I'm going to do it. I have to look into that a little bit more. I want to get my goal is at least $2,000 for this so that we can give it away to, I've never actually heard of the Kakalaki Crew thing, the donation fundraiser before. So
I don't even think they have a fundraiser or take donations. They're just the group of people that I know of that are out there doing the activism and they spend a lot of their own money going out there just to share this information. I mean, he has the greatest line, I think, for activism: free information. Would you like some free information? He doesn't come out and say the earth is flat, and drive people away. Just free information, real nice, gentle tone. And they're just really great people. But they do a lot for other people. They've actually raised money for people who, like at Flattoberfest, there was a family that fell on really hard times. I think they raised like over $2,500, something like that, for them to help get them back on their feet. Yeah, so they're really good group of people that. I mean,
that's awesome. That's what we should be here for. Even though we've never met each other, we only talk online, but we all understand the same basic principle of life. How to be good people and how to come together and do good things for other people. It's sort of like a church in a sense, but not preachy sense.
Yeah, they get together every Saturday out at Columbia, this flea market in Columbia, South Carolina. That's the capital of South Carolina. And they all meet up at this huge outdoor flea market where there's thousands of people every weekend. And they have regulars that come by and chat now about flat Earth. Police officers that come up and chat about flat Earth with them that they've flat smacked.
Yeah, and that's one of the main reasons I'm kind of doing this. It is sort of selfish, I suppose, but it's for everyone that's in the community. Imagine that we had someone that had, I don't know, $20 million, and all of a sudden just donated that out to the rest of the world and said, oh yeah, look look what flat earthers are doing, and they're just giving out stuff and helping to better their community. That would go national real quick. That would just be all over national news. Well, we don't have that kind of money yet, but this is a starting point. So it's a way to basically say, hey, we're not bad people. Just because we believe in something a little bit different about the world doesn't mean that we're bad, and we can do good things. Here we are.
I like it. Yeah, and especially now, there's so many people out there that could use a hand. Even if it's just going and taking, bottled water out to homeless people out there in California.
Or blankets to the homeless in Indiana.
Yeah, I mean, there's homeless everywhere now. Yeah, it's not just California. Yeah, there's homeless everywhere. Or handing out blankets to the homeless up north where it's cold. There could be all kinds of cool stuff that we did.
Flat Earth blankets. Think about that one.
With flat Earth on it?
Yeah, think about that. Oh, shit.
Free advertising right there. Jump on it, Dave.
I don't have the means or capability to do that, but it's an idea.
They have a big, flat Earth cape on their back.
Flat Earth warms you from the inside. For everything else, here's a wool blanket.
Like it.
Hey, it's a marketing idea. It's like I was on Melodome, and Mike was on there, and he brought up, we were talking about E equals MC squared, and he said E equals THC. And I thought, no, E equals THC squared. And he put that on a t-shirt,
I like it.
I would wear it.
THC squared.
Maybe me
equals THC. Yeah, that's pretty good.
Add that to my list. See how it looks.
Hey, so in the Iron Realm Media Telegram, as well as the chat or Skype, I think I did put it there, right? Yeah, I did. So I was doing some research on a lot of different stuff, and I was trying to figure out how exactly do we measure sea level? For example, if you're living in Colorado, up in the Rockies, and they say, what elevation are you at? How do you know? Versus if you're living on the coast of any coast, anywhere in the world, and you can see the ocean, and they tell you your elevation is this level versus someone that's over in the Rockies or the Himalayas or something else. How do you know? How do you figure it out? So what I found out is it's something called median sea level. So the median is the average between 2 points. Between 0 and 10 is 5, for example. So if you actually research that a little bit, there's a NASA website that I linked in the chat. You might want to just pull this up as a video. The first 39 seconds of it is completely legitimate. After that, it's going to piss you off. Well, maybe not piss you off, but it might give you a headache. But this is an actual video for kids. If you want to play it after the next break, that's fine. But I would suggest people watch this because this is a kid's video to try and tell you what the sea level is.
The original way they did this was with a lot of sweat, blood, and tears of surveyors traversing just crazy. I mean, Chris Van Matre, he's a surveyor. And he's been doing it almost 30 years now, long time. Chris has been out there in the field, actually in the field doing it. And one of his jobs is to go out and find these old markers that were put down and make sure they're still accurate, that the ground hasn't, shifted or this or that. It took a long time and a lot of people to go and actually planar survey a lot of this place.
Is he the guy that put out the $100,000 challenge?
I don't believe so. No,
There was a surveyor that he was going along the coast and saying that if anybody could come out and match what he was doing as a surveyor along the coastline, he would give him $100,000 if they could prove the Earth was a curve.
he was living out of Colorado for the longest time, and he and Bob and Cammy used to hang out a lot because they lived pretty close. And then he moved down to Texas. But no, he's been surveying, like I said, for decades. And he said all those things are dead on accurate. It took a long time because the way they do planar surveying, they do it by like steps almost. And they do it really small increments at a time. It's like 50-yard increments, something like that at a time. They don't try to measure, 250 yards away and say, oh yeah, because they know perspective comes into play. The planar surveyor, Aaron, with the 3 poles, and how when they're all in a line on a flat surface, you'll be able to look down all of them. It's kind of unlike that. But the last ruler has, and all of them have a bunch of markings on them telling you how far off. Like once these 2 are level, or once you get like these 3, then you take that first one and move it, now it becomes the 3rd one. And these 2 are level. And and they do it step by step like that. It's painstakingly, it takes a very long time to do this kind of surveying. They don't, they're not doing, unless it's a nice big open field that's flat, they don't get to do like a mile at a time. I remember when they were doing a test out there in Denver. They were trying to see, I forget what it was, how long they could see along a road or something like that. And Chris had other flat earthers out there helping him set up all the survey stuff, just so he could know the actual grade and slope of the land and all that kind of stuff. And it took forever. Well, for one, Chris was the only one out there, and usually he has an assistant that knows what he's doing as well, which makes it go a lot quicker. But with only one person really knowing what to do, he said, they didn't get the test done until way later in the afternoon than they thought. But it's a lot of work to go out there. And he said it's crazy because all those markings out there, those little landmarks, sometimes if you're out in the wild, you'll just find this little bronze looking plaque in the ground, just a circle, and it'll have some numbers on it and a date, something like that, and that's it. But those are the things he goes out there and finds, and then measures them to make sure that it's still where they said it was. And he says they were always right on.
Yeah, surveying is a fascinating thing. I actually thought about switching my career into doing that. You have to have, and I looked into it a little bit, you have to have at least an associate's degree to do it. And you can get a job with a lot of cities and counties and stuff like that, and independent contractors to do surveying. And around here, it's like 70 to 80,000 a year. So it's not bad, but it's not compared to like other trades. But it's real cool because it's like 50% out in the field, 50% like in the car, just driving around. So
it's a lot of driving getting to, because dude, sometimes he's going up to like Montana to do jobs and stuff. Survey isn't just, or Wyoming. He's been all over to do certain jobs.
Yeah, but it's a cool job because you can actually go out and be out in the wilderness.
You're in the world. You're actually seeing the world, places that most people don't really see. You're going off the beaten path a lot of the time to find
versus someone that's like sitting back at Bank of America answering your call while your checking account is, blah, blah, blah.
But it's amazing the amount of work and man hours that it has taken to survey just west of the Mississippi. It's it's amazing how, I mean, there's so many great, you know, because knowing a surveyor and having to talk with them and really getting into surveying a little bit, I went and watched some of these old documentaries about these guys. It wasn't like they went and parked at the Holiday Inn and, you know, drove their car with air conditioning to here and then walked a mile or two. No, this was like some Ugly Day they were doing.
I was just checking that, but I didn't want to interrupt you.
And here we are.
And it did it.
Well, we've made it. We're down to one more segment. If you guys can just sit through these last few brief commercials, we will come back and wrap this one up. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Are you committed? Because without commitment, nothing happens. You have to be committed through the storm and the rain and the heartache and the pain and the disappointment, or you're not gonna make it. It's a commitment. It's not a feeling. While they was golfing, I was studying. While they was shooting hoops, I was studying. While they was playing games and sitting up and eating and joking in the restaurant, I was studying. You can't get out of something that you're not willing to put into it. You have to put your everything, your mind, your energy, your effort, your discipline, your tenacity. Nothing is going to jump out the fire if you don't throw something in there. It's not going to happen. But if we fight every day, one of them days going to be my day.
Hey everyone, it's Chris Gio, founder of Truth Frequency Radio and host of Beyond the Veil. The mainstream media and establishment are running scared right now, and they've prominently featured TruthFrequencyRadio.com as number 89 on the federal government's hit list, also known as the fake news list, which is essentially a list of sites slated for censorship on Facebook, YouTube, Google, and other social media. Now is the time for you to get involved. Share your favorite TFR shows far and wide on forums and social media. Tell your friends and family about your favorite shows. If you're a business owner, get in touch with us to feature your product or service right here on TFR. And if you haven't done so already, become a TFR supporter now and get unlimited commercial-free downloads in high quality. Visit truthfrequencyradio.com/sign-up. Thank you for making TFR the leader in independent and uncensored talk radio. Truth Frequency Radio, your protection from deception.
Once in a decade, a true story comes along that remembers the future. After 6 Amazon bestsellers, I have completed the epic Birth Trilogy, a true story of Earth. By reading the Birth Trilogy, you will journey with the characters from the origin of Earth to its final destiny in a white-knuckle ride that combines the intrigue of Tom Clancy with the epic scope of Prometheus and Interstellar. You will learn more about the purpose of life, the mystery of death, and the true nature of your soul than you thought possible. The Birth Trilogy is now available on Amazon and Kindle. The audio version is a free bonus when you buy the paperback, so even if you're not a great reader, don't worry about it. I read it for you. Use the Amazon app today and buy the Birth Trilogy, spelled B-E-A-R-T-H, or search for my name. I'm Brooks Agnew.
No hate, no hype, no fear.
You're listening to Truth Frequency Radio.
We are TFR.
This is Michael Tyson. You probably know me better as Iron Mike, but I don't go by Iron Mike no more because I used to be a monster. I'm a different person now. I'm all about happiness. But what is happiness? I'll tell you what happiness is. Every time I listen to my favorite show, Iron Realm Media, it's a truther show on YouTube.
And welcome back to the fourth and final segment of the Ironworks. Kicking off right now, we do actually have that video that Andrew was talking about earlier. Somewhere, I know I've got it. I just got too much stuff going on. Let's go.
Josh, you would seem we have silence going out over YouTube.
Quit it. All right.
No, that's what they're saying in chat, guys.
Yeah,
Sorry,
all right.
we're trying.
Well,
we're trying. It's straight from the genius of Mike Tyson to dead air. Hey, you know, shout out to the Tommy and the Kakalaki crew. Speaking of,
I don't understand how it can be in my headphones and be going out to everybody, but not
hey,
to
I was hearing
restream.
it.
I know.
I was hearing it. I was watching it. I don't know.
I don't.
Would you like me to share it? Drop it again, or is it in the chat?
It'll be in the chat.
I'll go. 1 second.
Garbage. Absolute garbage. Just makes zero sense to me. Like the way this is set up, I don't understand how it doesn't. It's like it's got to be blocking it somehow.
Okay, well, if people want to watch it, oh, there it goes. Looks like in Skype.
What causes sea level rise?
This is good up until about 39
If you've been
seconds.
to a beach
After that, it's
Yeah, I'm seeing the video in Skype now.
before, you've probably noticed a sort of what causes sea level rise. If you've been to a beach before, you've probably noticed a sort of line where the ocean water meets the land. Of course, ocean water doesn't stay at the same level all the time. Waves and tides cause the level of the water to rise and sink all day long. But we can measure the height of ocean water many times a day and figure out the water's average or typical height. The average height of the ocean in a particular place is called the local sea level. But the ocean covers most of our planet, so it's way too big to measure with just a ruler. NASA measures the average sea level of the whole ocean from space. This measurement is called
that was
the
commentary in my
global sea
laugh, by the
level.
way.
People have been measuring local sea level at certain locations along the coast for hundreds of years. And NASA has been measuring the global sea level for almost 3 decades. Over this time, scientists have observed that the global sea level has been rising. The ocean is about 7 to 8 inches higher now than it was a century ago. Why? Because Earth is getting warmer. Glaciers and ice sheets are large masses of ice that sit on land. As our planet warms, this ice melts and flows into the ocean.
Oh, it gets worse.
More
Don't worry.
water in the ocean makes the sea level rise higher. But that's not the only way seas are rising. As Earth warms, the ocean is warming too. Water expands as it gets warmer, so warm water takes up more room in the ocean, making sea levels higher. Rising sea levels can have an impact on how we live, especially in communities near the coasts. NASA and its partners use the JASON satellites to measure global sea level. It takes approximately 10 days for the satellites to complete one measurement. And after they finish one measurement, they start measuring all over again. By keeping an eye on Earth's oceans like this, we can measure how much sea level is rising and how quickly it is happening.
Thanks, Jason.
Find out more about our planet at NASA Climate Kid.
My head hurts now, and I have a question. So for 30 years, NASA's been using satellites to measure and see an increase in global sea level, but local sea level's still been the same for hundreds of years. Is that what I just heard? Because at no point did they ever say that we've seen an influx in local sea level, just global sea level from the satellites.
The global sea level that they've only been measuring for 30 years.
For 30 years.
Know that over the last 100 years.
Right.
This, that, and the other. Oh, my God.
And it hurts. Kid, or, you know, I mean, Venice is right on the water, and that's the Mediterranean, right? If I'm correct.
How much oceanfront property have all the bazillionaires been buying up lately? Is it just a big scam?
What about all the little tiny South Pacific islands that are only inches above sea level and have been that way for as long as we've known about them?
Well, they're rising too. Methane.
The whole island's rising.
The whole island floats, man. Come on,
okay.
Some people will say
it
everybody's rising.
We've been joined by our friend Zombie Snoop, if you guys aren't familiar. What's up, brother?
What's going on, guys? Thank you. So I had something relevant.
Antarctica. Just saying, real quick, record freezing in Antarctica.
But sea levels are on the rise.
Yep.
Nice. So I had a question relevant to Andrew's kind of game show, I guess. Because basically what you're trying to accomplish is getting not only a more positive word out there about flat earthers, but the fact that the earth is flat at the same time, right? Is that what I'm getting out of this?
Well, the main idea is just for a charity. That's basically it. But there can be an after effect to it. And I haven't spoken to Austin about this entirely. I'm not even sure if he's listening, so don't tell him. But my idea is to basically just help promote his channel a little bit, or anyone else's channel. And anyone that wants to host it, we're going to divide the money up and let them choose a charity of their choice to basically just go out and give the money to, like the kids or whatever.
Austin
Right.
is in chat, by the way.
So it's kind of a positive word of flat earth, or more of the community, so that the news can't run
if they
around
want to
like,
go out
oh,
and
these
say
people
flat
are
earth,
crazy.
they can.
Right.
Yeah.
So, all right, with that, then what's in y'all's opinion, what would y'all like to see as the end result here? Like, are we going for, as a community, are we going for a total paradigm change where we like Mark Sargent was saying in 2015, where, everything's got to be put on pause and retooled from the ground up. So all the universities are shut down, the stock market's going to crash, and then now flat earth is the new paradigm. And now we're not necessarily the ones in charge, but we've kind of taken the system back. Or
No, I think that's pretty much
that's
a far stretch for what I'm trying to do right now.
No, not that's not what I'm not what you're trying to do, not what you're trying to do with this game show, but like as a overall community. Because
what are we all trying to accomplish here?
Just the people that have the courage to admit it, using Dave's app, I looked at the numbers yesterday, we got 83,000 people. And that's just the ones that are willing to admit it and at the same time be tracked.
And have the app and be tracked. All of those
so
factors,
and I'm sure David has the exact numbers on how many people actually have the app. And when this thing first started, he was talking about, like, I remember being at 10,000 and him being like, that's not even 1% of the app users. So that's a lot of people that have the app that aren't being tracked. So what's going to happen when we get to critical mass? Are we trying to make a breakaway society? Are we trying to be Amish? Are we trying to take over, like not take over, but flip the whole paradigm? Or are we just going to sit here like we are and just, live, do our things inside the system as best we can? This is something I've been thinking about for a while, because now I'm way past the point that the earth is flat. Like I've known the earth was flat since 2015. I'm ready to start.
Yeah, we're not there yet.
No,
So
I know.
My whole idea of the concept of even what I'm sitting here doing with you guys on a weekly basis has been changed so hugely over the time that I've been doing it, let alone what I think is going to be accomplished, could be accomplished, should be accomplished, any of the above. Early on, there was this whole big, well, this is so fucking obvious. I can just say it to a few people on a video, and we're all done, and the world's going to shift out, and we're going to change and break all the bullshit I've been living under. We all thought that
process, yeah.
So after that didn't happen a week in, 2 weeks in, 3 months, 4 years, I mean, when it just kept getting more and more ridiculous, the replies in my comments, the shit we faced, the infighting, the drama, the reality of the fact that we are humans, flawed to the core, dealing with a lot of crap that's been heaped upon us, programmed in us, fucking entities that feed off of it. The whole fucking shebang has shifted what I'm doing here. What I'm doing here is changing myself as much as I can. I mentioned earlier, taking back music, taking back my fun of life, part of why I'm here in this paradigm in the first place, 3D realm. It's great to have this, I'm going to save you, I'm going to fix it, thing in us. We have it. A lot of us do. But a lot of that was also programmed in us from an early age with comic books and movies and shit that was programming. So you have to really sit back and think, what is it really accomplishing in my fucking life? Has it changed my relationship with the person I love more than anything? Yes, it altered it dramatically. It changed her dramatically. It slightly changed people in a ripple outward from us. My children are amazing people who have discernment in this world like no other kids that I know were raised at the same time. Like the sister-in-law's kids are just befuddled with mind control of this world. My kids see through it. So that is, to me, the biggest goal that I've accomplished, is passing the discernment of this fucking crap. It could change tomorrow, it could change any second of what the paradigm could be. We're changing it. Where you at, Daz? You're not in chat helping me with this one. We're shifting it. We're changing it right now, having this discussion. It's about you and the people you love. As much as you want to be the hero, as much as you want to save this fucking realm, it's really not what we came here to do. Yeah, you may have signed an agreement as you came through the door through some fucking entity going, look, I'll let you in and you can know some secrets, but you're going to be poor and you're going to have some health issues. It's going to be a bug. All that possibility, yeah. But it just really only matters what goes on in my heart, my soul, and the people I love. And you all are part of that, people I love. And so, like this charity idea, dude, that's making my heart open up and be so big, knowing that that's inside you, my friend, and want to share that with this community. That's huge. Seeing the people jump in with all the help that people come through and need in our chats, and people sow the money and help them out. The Kakalaki crew doing the things they do. Zack throwing help their way. It's a personal thing to me.
Yeah, so the charity thing is going to be up to Austin and I, since we're going to basically be the main contributors, but it's going to ultimately be up to him because I'm not going to be in charge of the funds. So what's going to happen is at the end of the year, we're going to have probably like a stream to figure out like, hey, who do you think the money should go to? Does anyone in Flat Earth community, like if Awesome Austin had just had a baby like right now and we had a whole bunch of money to give to him, we could say, hey, let's give him a whole bunch of money, even though this hasn't happened yet.
So was anybody listening to Witsit's stream? I think it was like 2 weeks ago. And he was talking about trying to basically make himself into like the flat earth machine pretty much. And he's the one talking about, you know, trying to get things seriously changed, or at least trying to make it to where we can live our lives the way Walt was just expressing and not be harassed from the outside or from the mainstream. And he was talking about, you know, right now, of course, it's all volunteer work, and but getting to a point where he has people on the books specifically to help him with research and booking and getting these debates set up and stuff like that. In my opinion, that's who needs to be backed. I think, I can't remember who said it the other day. I don't remember if it was you guys or if it was Austin in the Melodome talking about it. I think it might have been the Awake and Bake, but they said it, and I completely agree that he's our champion right now.
Well, yeah, I think what he's trying to get at, and this is something I've been thinking about and talking to people about for a long time. If you work for the system, you are helping develop the system. So if you're working for a company, you're helping develop that company.
Right.
But if you contribute as a volunteer, free of time, then you're helping contribute towards something else that you believe in.
Well,
So
that's what he was.
What
that's
I'm trying to do.
Saying he's trying to get his, so that it's not just him doing a one-man show and doing everything he's doing, but having, you know, because now he's in the Carolinas, and I know he does a lot of stuff with the Kakalaki crew. So, you know, I know they help him a lot with anything they can, but he's talking about having like basically a corporation set up where he can actually pay people and has a budget to be able to make this full time for a group of people and get it to a point where we can, I mean, the way it sounded that he was saying it, not necessarily a breakaway, but like an internal breakaway where we can all be connected through the internet and have our own basically breakaway society, but we don't have to uproot and own land in the middle of nowhere and have our own little Amish commune set up. We can do it without uprooting our lives and still, you know, but still being independent of the system, or at least more disconnected from the system than a lot of us still have to be.
Yeah, I don't know enough about that, but I think there would be something to do. There would have to be some sort of like a lawyer involved with that to figure out how to do it correctly, like an LLC or something. I don't know. I mean, it's not a bad idea, but.
Well, see, then it gets into that whole thing of what do you want to do? Do you want to get into their system and work your shit within their system? Or do you want to completely break the system and start it new? Or do you want to have a breakaway thing and move to a whole different place? And then when you move to that place, well, now you're dealing with a whole new governmental bunch
I
of
don't
bullshit.
think we need to do anything.
You know,
I think basically what you were saying is like right in line, but I think it would help out tremendously if we were just all more connected. So like,
but it would have to be more like, almost to me anyway, and this is what it's been in my heart since way before anything else, is tribal. I guess it's because I come from Native American background, but the idea is, you know, we're not supposed to be sitting in these fucking boxes anywhere at any time. We're supposed to be nomadic, fucking traveling with that fucking thing overhead. And if that thing decides to leave this realm, we go with it. And, you know, that's just me. But what?
So
That's what's up. Gematria Wombat in chat. Tribes. You got it, brother. That's what's up. Our sister. Fuck, I can't remember half the time.
See, that's what I've been getting at. That's what I've been trying to basically say since 2016 is we need groups of, you know, a few thousand flat earthers within 100 miles of each other, and we all just work together and support each other. Not like necessarily financially, but just that tribal mentality. We all just have each other's back. We're always there for each other. But I mean, a group of 1,000 people, that's a big start. You know, if we had 10 little areas throughout the country where each one had, you know, 800 to 1,200 people in it, that's a lot of, you know, that's a whole network right there.
Okay, the biggest thing that we can do right now that I think of is, I swear Dave is a fucking genius when he did this. The flat earth Sun, Moon, and Zodiac Clock app with
Oh,
the
yeah.
Friend Finder. And I know Iron Realm Media had a lot to do to help them out, and I applaud you guys for that. So that's what I was told, I think.
And we were just idiots enough to let him into our phones early on. That's all.
Oh, okay. Good enough. But the point is, I've met people off that app, and we have
Right,
our
it's
own
become
private
amazing, the
telegram,
things I've heard about
a
it. Yep.
telegram around here, and we meet up. And we're good people. We just have some beers, cook out, go to the beach, do some observations, and talk about flat Earth and just be regular people. And there's no drama involved at all. There's no politics. There's nothing.
That's literally all I want. I just want to be left alone and have a couple people that I can have open-minded conversations with like we do. And speaking of, yesterday I had a trainee in my truck with me all day, and I flat smacked him. That was fun.
What's up, boys?
Mr.
The
Weiss
small hat himself steps in the back door. What's up, brother?
You can only talk about me so much before I have to just come on. and listen, I'm not the genius. I have to say the creator did this. There's no way I could have done this myself. I asked for help, and help was given to me. And this app, I'm amazed that I made it. Right, so it's not just me; it is the creator above. I will say it now.
Yep, absolutely.
Mark says the same thing about his clues.
Yeah. What I was going to say is, 1,000 people. Wow, amazing. How about start with 2 people? 2 people that are alone find each other and start having conversations. That is more powerful than anything you can think of. And then another person joins, and then 5 more people join. So don't set the bar at 1,000. Let's look for 1,000, but set the bar at 2. Start easy.
Well, that's also the thing. It's not. I wasn't talking like tomorrow we should have 1,000 people in an area, but you've already made it, so we don't have to start with 2. We already have 2. Like just around me, when I set my circle maxed out on the app, I think the last time I looked, I have like 89 people in my circle, and
where I am, I'm in a very popular area. I think I'm over 450 now. Which
yeah,
is
but
crazy.
That's because you're inside that circle. Come down here to my circle for 6 months, and let's see how that number grows.
I got you. Where I'm in Mexico now, and there's like 30 people. I reached out. I've been talking to a couple of people.
That is
awesome. Try to meet up. I don't know, man. I just see, this whole thing is exploding faster than we realize. It is going. A buddy of mine made a not so great TikTok video. It was okay. It was a little sloppy. And at the end, he said, "Get the app," and he put it up there, and it missed the algorithm somehow. And in the last 5 days, it's got over 700,000 views. Okay, and there's all sorts of new people coming into the app. So a few more videos like that, then I could start hiring people. I want to hire Flatman X to just make a video every single day and post it on multiple platforms. And then it's just going to spiral from there. And I'm looking forward to having a team of people just to make this bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's not about the money. You guys all know this. None of it's about the money. But, if the money comes in, support Austin, support everybody that needs support, and just make this thing bigger. My goal is to make it so money is worthless, because when Flat Earth takes over the world, all governments are going to crumble and money is going to be worthless. So that's my goal.
Nice.
That's what I was getting at. Thank you, Dave.
Absolutely. And I have to address this, Dave. I have to, because it always comes up in the chats when you're on the phone with us or when we're really talking about the app in a very happy way. And I get a lot of people's reluctance to jump on. I get a lot of people's reluctance to say, "Oh, here's me over here." I get it. The world is a scary place at times. But the whole point of what we're looking at here is this idea that we're trying to group together and become a stronger thing, because we outnumber those evil fucks. As many powers as they pretend they have, they don't. It's all facade. It's all shaking a fucking stick in the fucking air to make them seem bigger than they are. They're nothing. They're fucking little insignificant fucks. Go ahead, David.
Before I run out of time, I want to say something about tracking. I made this app the least trackable. I mean, you could obscure your location. The phone will also obscure your location just in your tracking settings on your phone. Then the app will obscure it more. You can turn yourself on and off. You can
that's it. What's up, y'all? We'll see you this afternoon. Thank you, David. Thank you, Anthony. Thank you,
Well, I guess that wraps it up, everybody. Come back this afternoon. We will be having Isa Mahalski on. I do believe I've been in contact. It looks like the connection may be made this evening once he gets off of work. So that's going to be a good and exciting show. I look forward to it. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Be good. Be well. We love you. Bye-bye.